say stuff because why not? I did. All right, so is anyone in there yet?
Um, I just started, so no.
Okay, so
Yeah, one person.
I was going to do some really serious stuff this past semester. Starting in the whole year, but starting in November, I had my first panic attack. I didn't know what that was. I didn't really understand it. And then, like my heart rate started increasing. I was like spazzing out. Couldn't control myself. I was like really scared. I'm trying to figure out why do I feel this way? What's going on? And then I realized, like during the middle of exams, I get flashbacks of trauma that I went through in my life, and it was really hard to take, and I couldn't handle it. So I'd like fail some exams. It was bad. My grades were like the lowest in my class. And as smart as I am, as hard as I work, it didn't matter how I studied, it didn't matter how long I studied. I was always doing bad. And then fall semester ended, and I was like bottom of my class, which is not that big of a deal because I still passed all. But then spring semester happened, and things got worse. I thought they would get better, but they got worse. It was in February where I was failing one of my dental and schools classes. And you need this class to get to the next level, and I was failing it because in the middle of exams, while we're like drilling on the tooth, I would actually get these flashbacks of trauma and all this stuff that's going on. And I just couldn't do it. She just like, man, it's terrible. I couldn't do nothing about it because I realized I couldn't do nothing about it. So I signed up for therapy and counseling, which it took me a long time to actually understand. So House is a really big school, so it takes forever to get seen. So I got seen in March, which they say it's pretty early to get seen as fast as I applied for it. So I got in. And then the guy was talking to me, told my story and everything. He's like, wow, that's crazy. And then he was telling me that for my trauma, I need to go to a specialist. And so that's when I went to a specialist 3 weeks later. And then COVID happened. So I got to see them teletherapy instead of in person, which sucked at first, but I got used to it. And the first thing made me realize that I lost who I was. Physically and mentally, I lost who I was. And, for so long, I thought God was an idea. He was an idea to me. Like, growing up, Adventist, first go to church every Sabbath, yada, yada. I never, really thought that God's actually real. I thought he was just there, kind of like an idea that he's not really speaking to me. He's just there just to pray, bless my food. And then that's when I realized I'm at a low point in my life. And then I was like, I feel this type of way. I need to grow. So I said, God, please grow my faith. 2 days later, I was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. I was like, this is serious. Then I realized if this is the case, there's no way out but prayer, because I finally realized that no man can heal this. No man can make magic to fix the situation. So I prayed about it. And I prayed like I never prayed before. And then 2 days later, I was healed. And then I was like, yay, good. And then I started praying because I got what I needed. And I realized I got to keep this up because when I was going through my trauma and all the bad things that happened, it was staying connected to God that helped me keep going. When I was away from God, I would feel pain and have panic attacks. And I'm safe to say that I haven't had a panic attack since March, which is crazy. I was getting them every other weekend. It was really scary. And they put on medication and all that. But I finally realized that it's time for me to take this thing seriously. And so the past couple of weeks, I've been praying to God, saying, "Can you grow my faith and show me that you're real?" And then he sent a friend of mine who I haven't seen in years to my apartment one day. We're talking, laughing, having a good time. And then, through him, God was speaking to me. And this is crazy because I haven't seen this dude since he was little kids. And I'm just like, this is weird, but it was cool. So he eventually left. I'm just sitting down, this really just happened. And I was like, is God really there? I wasn't sure if he was there or not. And I know this sounds crazy because I've always believed in God, but I never really believed he was living and breathing. And he finally showed me who he is very recently. I don't sleep at night. I'm always thinking about these things. And then everything that's going on in the media and on the news, on the riots and protests, we realize that we're entering that age of the end times. And I believe it more than I ever believed it before. And I need to share what I know, how I find my inner peace, so the nonsense done with all of my life, where I can actually smile. Even though I'm tired physically and mentally, but I'm happy because I realize that it's time for me to change my behavior and take seriously the faith that I have in God, because I don't know if you guys believe how I do now, but I actually believe it now. And I believe that God is coming really soon. And I can't just love him for me, I gotta love him for other people. I got to be an influence for people who don't have a Christ-like friend in their life. And I'm in a unique position of how stable there's a lot of people going on. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of people I can talk to and influence. And if I just sit there doing nothing with it, I wasted that opportunity. So when school starts, I'm really about to just tackle it head on and do my work and be a light in a dark place. And the other night, I wrote something out where I actually firmly believe God was speaking to me in a way I've never realized this. So this is called the snow globe. I'm going to paraphrase this because it's actually really long. But imagine you got a trophy room, right? Imagine you got a trophy room and you got your awards, your plaques, all this stuff. You got a little pedestal in like the middle of it towards the back. You got a light shine on it. You got a snow globe. And then you've got a father and a son. And the father cares about snow globe more than he cares about anything else. And the child can care less about the other possessions. He only cares about the snow globe and crushing it and breaking it and smashing it. So the father is standing behind the pedestal watching the snow globe. The child's right here just looking at the father, looking at the globe and making sure that so he turns his head away, he can smash the snow globe. But God, in this case, the father never turns his eyes on the snow globe, because if he does, the child will smash it. So the child looks at him and touches it. And God lets it happen. And the child shakes it. And God lets it happen. The child about to throw it away. God says, "No, that's enough. Snow globe can't handle it." So he continues to shake it and shake it and shake it. And pieces fly around. Some pieces stay rooted into the seeds of the snow globe, where they don't move. And the child's like, "Oh, I got someone to move. Now I'm about to the rest of it." So he shakes it even harder and harder. That's why they say good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. So I realize that we're all in that snow globe, and God is allowing Satan to shake it, because how Job lived his life is Satan was shaking Job's snow globe all the time. And Job had everything he'd ever wanted. But when everything was taken away, he didn't curse God and die. He stood fast in his faith. And that's what I realized. I gotta have that Job faith if I want to succeed in this world. Where there's been times when I've like not turned to God when I was feeling pain, I was feeling down, and I turned to other things. And I realized where those things turned me, how the pain I felt from doing those things and how I thought it was helping, but it wasn't the case. And with the snow globe story is that if you're living the Christ-like way, it's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. But since I believe this now more than ever, I believe the reward that comes later is well worth it. It's well worth it. And right now, it seems like hope is bleak, that there's no positive future. It may not be the case. And that might be the case. But soon, very soon, you don't have to worry about it. No more death, no more sorrow, no more crying, no more pain. I finally understand it. And this is like the greatest realization I've ever had. That God is actually living and breathing and cares. And when I prayed to him, he spoke to me. And he was revealing himself more and more to me. And my faith is growing faster than ever before. And it's just the most amazing feeling. So now I just got to let my light shine now. Everyone knows the song, "This Light of Mine, I'm going to shine." Now I'm about to actually take it seriously. And I'm about to enter a whole new setting of new people. And if they know me for a good dentist, that's cool and all, but I need them to know me more than just that. I need them to know that I'm a follower of Christ and wherever I go, so I'm going to do. And I know it's not going to be easy. I already have a classmate who has clearly identified himself as racist more than one time. And it's kind of demeaning and degrading to go to school with someone who has a kind of attitude about me. Spending a whole year with me thinking I'm low and I'm accomplishing nothing with my life. And I'm not mad at him. And I take it upon a challenge to myself to be an influence to him to change his heart and how he sees me and how he sees Black people and how he sees Christians. or instead of hating him for treating me dirty, is to show them that he's ignorant in a way that he doesn't see who I really am. I need to show him who I am by my actions. And that's a challenge I'm challenging to myself to do. He's not the only one who's like that. There's other people too, unfortunately, but I know I got support, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is about a really touchy subject, but I believe it needs to be spoken of because it's time that when God says love your neighbor, when God says love your neighbor, he doesn't say only love your white neighbors, only love your black neighbors, or love everyone, but don't love your gay neighbors, don't love your trans neighbors. And the thing with how we view, how I thought we would view gay people and trans people, for the longest time I thought them as not human, and I thought that they didn't deserve the rights that I deserved. And it was a very skewed way of thinking because they're people too. And it is not my position to deem what they're doing with their life right or wrong. And I used to judge my hall director who was trans. They use the pronouns they, them, their, and I would mock them and think less of them because of how they live their life. And even though that's a sexual identity, it's the same similar case with how my classmate was treating me based on how I look and how I act. And it's not fair to me to judge them and hate when people judge me for me just being me. And I don't think that's Christ-like for me to have that attitude. So I'm changing how I view people who identify in different ways. And that's not to say they're right or wrong in that, but I will respect them with the dignity simply because they're human. And I know Christ would. And Jesus hung out with low-life thugs and criminals and people who were outcasts and misfits. He loved them all. If you look at the 12 disciples, he chose the worst of the worst people. He could have chosen the people who had degrees in theology, the people who had things going for themselves, the people who had money, who had prestige. He could have chosen them. But he chose people who made mistakes in their life. And because he chose people who had mistakes in life, he showed that throughout their circumstances, they changed their life around for the better. And almost all of them were persecuted and died in Christ's name. And here's the thing about those disciples who died that way, is they actually believed Jesus was right. They believed in everything he said. So they lived their life to do so. And even though this happened many years ago, it still stays the same with us living now. We're just in a different time frame. But if we truly believe it, we got to walk around the earth like the disciples did. We got to reach those who don't want to be reached, reach those who have walked out on the faith, and reach those who never knew the faith. Because that's what we're called to do, and that's what I'm called to do from here on out. It's time. I truly believe that God's coming soon. And this is something that I think we should aspire towards as not just Christians, but separate evangelists, is we should aspire towards having stars on our crown. Too many times we look around our fancy cars, our fancy homes, our new cell phones, and all these things that don't matter. I come to realize Satan doesn't care about those things. Satan wants us to have the best of the best because it's a distraction. God doesn't care if I'm a doctor or not. He cares if I'm touching souls. And Satan doesn't want me to do that. So he reminds me that, oh, I'm about to be the greatest doctor in the world. I'm about to have a nice car. I'm about to have all these things to take my mind off of my faith in God. And I can't have that no more. I'm still going to pursue my dream, but I'm going to do it in a way where I show God through all my actions. Because it's time to do it the right way. Because I now believe this as canon, and I believe it as truth. Yeah. Those are things I've been thinking about for the longest time. And I am working on a project to show my story with the world. I think it's very private information, but I believe through my struggle, other people can see Christ through me. And like I said, I almost gave up in March. I was like, I don't want to even go to class tomorrow. I don't want to deal with my classmates who like to reinforce their privilege and their riches and everything that they have that I don't have. They have to put me down for it. I never talk about myself or what I have because they don't want to hear what I have to offer. They don't want to hear what I have to say. And it's very hard for me to try to smile and be happy when I'm around toxic people. Not all of them are like that, but enough are. And it's hurtful, but I realize I gotta look past it if I want to really make some change. And one thing about me is I got bullied back in high school all the time. And the worst part is when I got bullied, people would say, that's what he gets. That's what he gets. That's what he gets. People would use that as an excuse to continue bullying me. I told the staff about it. You know what staff did? Nothing. Because I held them accountable. When they would pick favorites, I called them out on it. And they hated me. Not to say hated me, but they didn't look out for me. They were too soft spoken to reach out on the bad things that are happening. But I couldn't let that go anymore. And so the students mistreated me and the staff let it happen. At Bowling Green, I decided to shed some light on how to change how RAs talk to the residents, how to improve the system. And I had the greatest interaction with residents, and everyone can agree. However, some RAs hated me for it because they thought that I was better than them. That was not the case. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of how the resident views Bowling Green and how they view the RAs. I want to be a true leader to everyone and show them kindness and compassion and respect for being different. And over the years, I've learned more how to treat people the same, despite what they look like and where they came from and how they act. And there were times when people try to get rid of me, and it was very hard to deal with. But I didn't let it faze me as much as it could have. And then I met some friends who inspired me to continue to inspiring others. I almost gave up in there too. It's like, no one cares what I gotta say. Then I met this guy named Connor Eli who gave me this bracelet that says one day on it. It's not gonna happen one day, but one day it'll happen. And I believe that everything I've worked so hard in life to get is close, but yet so far. I gotta keep my mind focused on what matters. And what matters is making sure I'm saved and making sure I influence others to be saved and make sure I don't ever stray away. Because it's so easy to with all these distractions, and especially in the position I'm in, where we have events on Sabbath all the time. We have sessions and meetings and clinics on Sabbath. And that's a situation I'm gonna have to handle when I get to that level. And I gotta deal with classmates from all over who may not know God or who may know God in a different way, but I gotta influence them the right way. And so I gotta make sure that I am immovable in my faith before I do any of that. Because if I'm lukewarm in anything, I'll be consuming myself, and I can't have that. I've worked too hard to get here. I almost gave up, but I didn't. And I hope none of you give up in your life with your own walk with God. And I think it's important for everyone to have the prayer that you ask God to show us of who he really is, despite your age, despite your circumstances, because he will if you truly believe it. And when Alex got his diagnosis, I was torn apart. They saw how I acted. I couldn't handle it. Again, none of my snuggle being shaken. Reality is I can't handle it, but I was being weak because I didn't think I could because for so long I was doing it for me, looking out for me, not leaning on God. And we know God, nothing you can't do. So say you can ultimately take my snuggle and shake it all day long, every single night. But I'm going to be planted deep because I realize the things that happen to us that are bad, yeah, it sucks, but it's okay because I firmly believe now that there is a prize in heaven that is well beyond our wildest dreams. The fact that I chased money so hard, I worked so hard to acquire it, when the very streets of heaven are paved with gold. When I'm at Wendy's one day, I'm thinking like, why do I work so hard when in heaven the very substance we walk on is the stuff everyone aspires for? Everyone knows gold is gold. Everyone knows gold's value. But in heaven, it's meaningless. It's like gravel, and you just walk on it like it means nothing. That tells you that what God has for us, we're not thinking the same way that he's thinking. If we try so hard to make this money, but yet we walk on money and get to heaven, what's the point of having money now? And Satan has put this notion that we need money to survive, that we need riches, we need all these things to make it in life. The reality is we just need faith. Now, yes, we do need money to buy food and stuff like that, but we don't need to worship it, and we don't need to kill ourselves trying to make it. And I finally realized that. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to be a doctor, but now I realized that I can really make a difference in the position I'm in. I think that God was helping me get to this position and having me realize this before I got in. I also believe that that's why he made me take a whole extra year off out of school to reevaluate what I want in life. And then on top of that, make me take another year off to do Get Path, to have me make these realizations that are so crucial. And I'm very thankful for that. And it's about to be something amazing. It's about to be something great. I don't know what, but I got big plans in my head all the time. I don't sleep at night because I'm too excited. At first, I didn't sleep because I was too depressed and too sad. But now I was like, I'm too excited. Like God's really there. Like he's actually there. Like it's a realization I can't really explain. You gotta experience it for yourself. That God is there in a way that shows you that he's breathing. Like you can feel his presence if you pray earnestly and you really call out on his name. And it's not just in the good times, but in the bad times too, especially the bad times. Yeah, that's what I had to say. Now I'm still working on my whole personal testimony that I'm about to drop soon because it'll open up people's eyes. It'll really open up people's eyes to the things that happened to me that I'm not ashamed of it. Some of the stuff is my own fault. Some of the stuff is stuff that happened to me because I was doing the right thing. Specifically because I was following rules and I got mistreated at NBA and other places. But it's okay because I'm not completely over it, but I'm healing from it. And you guys are like, what are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you when I finish this essay. It'll be pretty long, but it'll be pretty powerful stuff that I'm going to let the whole world read. Because I don't care if a million people know my story. If one person becomes closer to God, it's worth it to me. That's one extra star I could have because I don't care how you think of me. But I do care, but like, I don't care if you guys, not you specifically, but in general, people think I'm low or I'm trying too hard for attention. It's none of that. I want you to see how I see it. The way I can be used to have you see it is just share my life story. You're like, man, these things happen, but Matt stayed firm. Matt had that Job faith. I want to be known for having that Job faith. I think he's the most faithful person in the Bible. To have everything have taken away and have the person you call wife tell you to curse God and die. I think that's the crazy. He didn't even flinch. His faith didn't even flinch. It's just like, it's okay. All those balls on his skin, everything in flames, and he's holding on strong. That's the faith I need. I don't have it yet, but I'm working towards it. I'm going to keep praying until I get it. And the worst part is it only gets harder. But I'm not soft anymore. 5'7", but I'm walking like I'm 6'7", and it's going to be great. And I fear nothing no more. So if people hate me for doing the right thing, if I do the wrong thing, they hate me, that's my own fault. If I do the right thing and they hate me, then it's all right. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I was thinking about what you said about the 144,000, how there are people who never lost their faith, who never left the church, who never defiled themselves to other churches. And here's the thing I realized. If we firmly believe that Adventism is that church, then I have a chance to be one of those 144,000. And I'm going to strive towards that. Whether I am or not is not up to me necessarily, but if I can do it, I'll get it. If I got to go through extra pain down here, why not? If I live to be 80 years old, that's 80 years of pain and sorrow. But one thing I've come to realize is that God loves us so much that he wants us to show who he is. And he wants to make up for lost time. That's why we live forever. Because he's so amazing that you can't fit him in a timeline. That's why he's forever. That's why we're going to live forever, to actually explore him. And every single day, it's more and more and more to learn. And we can never get enough about it. We can never learn enough about God, ever. That's why we live forever. And think about these things about how wonderful God is changing who I am and how I see things. And I'm cleaning up my acts and things I'm saying, places I go and everything, and step by step. And I got a lot of things to work out, a lot of flaws, but if I were to die on my way home, y'all go see me in a couple of years, because I believe, like, I ain't stressed no more. I'm not stressed no more. I'm not worried. Because if I truly believe that this is the case, then I'm going to live my life so that I really get this. And I hope that I can reach someone to see God how I see it, how I see him and all the things he's done for me. Because why not? I got nothing to lose. Like I said, I don't care about people's opinion of me. I never really did. One people's opinions of me I cared about were people on their mission team to OSU. Because if they like me, I'm getting in. If they don't like me, I'm not getting in. The only people's opinions who matter. Everyone else's opinion, don't matter. If I have a good work ethic and you think I don't, it doesn't matter. Because I'm going to still work harder than everyone else. And I want to grill at Wendy's, and this is crazy. When I want to grill at Wendy's, everyone celebrates. The sandwich maker celebrates. Because I serve them the meat. No one else does that. They cut corners, they're lazy with it. I called out a manager the other day for cutting corners. A manager cut corners. She looked at me like, who are you? I'm just like, you got to do it the right way because it's the right thing to do. And like, I don't know if it was my place shot to speak up at that time, but I'm practicing holding myself accountable and holding others accountable too. And from now on, if I see people doing things halfway or like so cut corners, I'm going to step in and be like, dude, work a little bit harder. Try a little bit harder. because a Christ-like attitude means you're going hard as you can, as long as you can, as best as you can, giving your all. God didn't love us halfway. He didn't halfway get to the cross. He didn't halfway get hung up there. He didn't halfway drag. Well, he did halfway drag the cross, but he didn't halfway die. He was dead, and he came back. And I can only imagine the pain God felt when he lost his son, his only son. I don't know what that pain feels like. Hopefully, you never have to feel that pain, but hopefully you get to feel that pain. But the point is he felt some kind of pain that really probably hurt him. But it's okay because he came back and he's coming back for us soon. And I'm not missing out for nothing. No tooth, no Tesla, nobody, no nothing is worth it. And those are things I want in life because I think they're cool. But I can't do it for me. I got to do it for God. I got to show others Him. And I'm about to use my position to build a platform to speak to everyone, to speak to the whole world at some point, somehow, some way. And I'm gonna start at OSU. And OSU is a pretty big school. Everyone knows OSU. If I can get my name out, not necessarily my name, but get God's name out there through me, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But yeah, that's it. That's how I feel. So
Thank you for sharing.
Steve.
yeah, it was time. It was time. It was time.
Sheila.
No, she just said, yep.
You got big plans.
Big plans. Never even